Hey there, it's Kurama here. It's been a long time since I made a video for you guys, and I had a crazy game last night where I got about 27 kills in Crown Tier. And I kind of died at the ending, but I still got some really good gameplay, and I wanted to share it with you. And I have some new tips and tricks for you guys. This is like brand new. I have not I've changed my sensitivities and my layout, and I must say that there are some benefits to the new playstyle that I've switched to. So if you're wondering what happened to my Instagram, I just want to say that I deleted it because I really wanted to take a break from PUBG, and it was too addicting for me. I really needed to study, and I uh, couldn't concentrate. I had to study really hard for a certain exam, and the PUBG Mobile was too distracting, so I deleted both the app and the game itself. So sorry about that. I'll probably make a new account soon. So back on to the tips and tricks, and I learned a new method of playing the game. If you look at my bottom right, you'll see that I have put my fire button on the bottom right, and instead of me using it on the top left, which is usually on the index finger, I've shifted it to my bottom right because this gives me a more stable spray, especially at long range, and it helps me to tap fire at longer range. So what is the difference between playing four finger claw where you're shooting with the index finger on top, and just like this is basically three finger what I'm playing right now. My top right index finger is scoping in, and my bottom right thumb is shooting. So when I shifted to this playstyle, I noticed that I could bend my phone left to right to a more, I would say, to more degrees, like there's more area of motion, range of motion, and I couldn't do that when I was playing with four finger claw. So shifting to this style allows me to tap fire at longer ranges, and when I'm in close range situation, I can rely entirely on my gyro. Whereas when I used to play with four finger claw, I had to move my finger, the thumb on the screen, and it was I felt like it wasn't more as accurate as playing with your full gyro in close range. So I am playing right now on probably default sensitivities, default medium sensitivities with the gyroscope turned all the way on. And before I used to not play on default sensitivities, I used to have my ADS very high up. And this was basically to compensate for the recoil and the lack of motion that I used to get. So what I'm trying to say is that even though I was playing four finger claw, I wasn't getting the full benefit of the gyroscope. And even though I was playing full gyro with my four finger claw setup, I couldn't aim properly at long ranges. I couldn't use my index finger to tap fire. And when I switched to putting my fire button on my thumb, I could aim a slightly better in close range, and I can also tap fire at long range, and my sprays are a bit stable. And also when there is a moving vehicle, or like when an enemy is moving to the side of your screen, I can use my I can hold my phone in such a way that I can get that range of motion easily to swipe on my enemy, so I can turn my phone around more easily as opposed to when I'm holding in a four finger claw setup with my index fingers on top. So this technique I learned by watching Takas on YouTube. He's a very good YouTuber, and I think you should go check him out. He's a top YouTuber right now when it comes to high kill gameplays. He's always putting out this amazing high kill 30-40 kill videos gameplay, and he gets millions of views. I'm fascinated by his gameplay because it's very similar to mine. But I saw his sensitivity, and I noticed that he's playing on very low sensitivity, and it was very curious because I'm someone who plays on very high sensitivity, probably double of his sensitivity. So I was like, how is he so accurate, and how does he manage to kill so many enemies? And I changed my settings to what he plays on, and I changed my layout to also incorporate me shooting with the thumb on the bottom right, and I noticed that I didn't see too much of a speed difference. Yeah, I got better accuracy, but I couldn't move that much fast. But I still realized that I was still as deadly as before. And when it comes to close range, I started noticing that it was very good. It was pretty accurate. It was slow, but I could turn my phone around and I could use the gyro itself to aim. So this is going to be a little bit complicated, but you do not need high ADS sensitivities to play if you are using full gyro. And I learned this from some of the pro players who I had a 1v1 fights with in TDM. I would always ask them their sensitivity, and they were all thumb players and they were all using their thumb to aim, shoot, and fight. Basically, they were using thumbs for everything, full thumbs, no claw, and they were still fast and still very accurate. And I was very surprised, like, how do people play despite not having a claw setup? I mean, if you look at the pro players like XQF, Paraboy, Entity, Jonathan, so many pro players. There's another guy called Adair Kitsune. He was the top gunslinger in PMCO or something of that sort. And I realized that they all have their shooting button on the bottom thumb, right? And I tried the same setup, okay, after cop. Even Levino, I forgot to mention Levino and Sevo, they're such good players and they don't even use the top left index finger. So I tried using this playstyle basically where I shoot with my thumb, and man, it really works. Like, I'm able to track enemies, and if you don't rely on your ADS as much, it's pretty good. And I'm not saying that playing with ADS is bad. In fact, I think that ADS is good if you know how to set up your sensitivity. But let's just say that you are constantly switching devices and it's very hard to change your ADS sensitivities for every device. Like, let's just say you want to play on two devices and you switch from one device to another, you have to change your entire sensitivities to play properly. Whereas when you play full gyro, you don't have to make much like different. You don't have to change your settings that much. All you can do is tweak a few gyroscope settings and you're good to go. Maybe change your camera a little bit so that you can like do a 360 or something of that sort. But gyro is pretty universal. Like, you can just copy someone's gyro and chances are that you will be able to have the same recoil as him or same performance. So that's my 2 cents, guys. This is the new technique that I've been using and I'm not good at it yet. Close range, I'm still very slow compared to my old sensitivities, but it's definitely more accurate. All I can say is that if you want a boost in your accuracy, tap firing, and maybe even little bit in close range just for tracking your enemy, I would say play full gyro and shift your firing button to your thumb. It's very stable and I've seen a lot of pros use it. And if you want to be a good player, try it out. You can still play if you are playing with a claw setup. Just make one of your fire button on your bottom right. I think there are two fire buttons, right? One is the static fire button and one is the dynamic fire button. So I've kept my static fire button on the top left and the dynamic fire button on the bottom right. So I'll try to make an in-depth tutorial possibly on this or explain more about the mechanics behind this in a future video, but this is something that I learned. So for me to learn something new after so long of playing PUBG was really fascinating and interesting, and I really love the new modes, the smiles, cheer park, the training mode. It's really nice. I wouldn't have learned this in detail if it wasn't for that training mode, and I'm glad that I'm back in the game. It has been a long time since I played, but I'm having fun playing it again. Sorry for the long break. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. I hope you can improve your gameplay by watching this video. So sorry if the commentary is a little bit dull and monotonous and there's no music and proper editing. I really apologize for that. I just wanted to post a video today. So I hope you guys stay safe and have a good day ahead. Oh, and if you're wondering what ADS means, or if you're new over here and you got a bit confused about what I'm talking about, I'll try to cover it up in a further video, but you can definitely check out my playlist on tutorial videos. I'm sure I've mentioned somewhere in there about what is ADS, or you can also check out this YouTuber called as Zendax, and there's another guy called as Destiny Gaming. Yeah, that's his name. His name is Destiny Gaming, and he makes really in-depth tutorials. I think you should check him out, guys. Have a good day ahead. I hope this helps you.
Excellent work. Excellent work. Fall back to safe zone.